Now here's an interesting game that I played, and you can only play it like a small amount before you pretty much be done with it, which is a shame. And it was very innovative for its time, and unfortunately just didn't really go anywhere with the whole system that it was. But that is part of the Wonderbook series, and it's the Harry Potter Book of Spells. So the Hogwarts Library, Miranda Goshawk's Book of Spells from J.K. Rowling, linked with Potterball. This used the little book thing that the Wonderbook accessory that Sony released, and I remember there only being about 4 or 5 games that came out on it. There was the 2 Harry Potter ones, which we can talk about the other one another day. There's a detective one, and I think there were like 2 others, but I don't remember what they were. Yeah, it had potential. So it used like a QR code for the PlayStation 3's camera, and you'd use that with the Move controller. So it would pick up the QR code, set up some sort of interactive gaming situation, and you'd use the Move controller as a wand and controller around the game. And I thought the Move had potential, but yeah, it just really didn't hit the market, seeing as the Wii had that motion control really down pat, and it didn't require the camera. I think that's where the problem was, because you had to be within the camera's zone. That's where a lot of the troubles came with these sorts of games, because you would angle things and they just wouldn't work right. That's my main complaint with this format as well. I thought it had so much potential, but you have to have it sitting perfectly on the floor in the right spot, and if you don't, then with the angles and all that, it just doesn't work. It requires a large space to also fill, and just even getting the right angles with like where your TV's sitting. I found it very hard back when I lived with my parents to get it to work, because our cabinet just didn't have the right height matching the room's requirements to fit properly and to work properly. So that was a little bit difficult to play at times, but I played all the way through this. It's one of those things where you got to experience a game as though you're in Harry Potter, and you learnt some of the different spells, and then you had challenges and little timed activities that you'd do with them. So it was pretty cool. I liked it. You learnt how to do the spell, and there was a couple in there. It says on here, it says 20 spells. I don't remember there being 20 spells, but it says there are. But yeah, I remember like for instance using Wingardium Leviosa to levitate things, and you get to do that. And when you're doing that, you'd see yourself in the game, like controlling down with it. It was kind of weird, because it was like a portal outside where you were sitting, and then you'd kind of like reach your wand in to interact with it. It's a little bit disorienting as such, but it was very very interesting. It kind of like it was a living book, and when you turned the page, the content changed. Like using the QR reading system on it, you'd have the page there, it would be fine. You'd turn the page, and it's a whole new page that would just appear up on the TV. And I found that really interesting. I felt that was quite good in terms of how that all worked. But like I'm saying, there were just some restrictions with it, and it was competing against the Wii for the motion, and I guess the Kinect, but the Kinect's always been finicky itself, and I think only now has there been some sort of competition in the home console situation that kind of competes with the Wii's gameplay, and that for me is the PlayStation VR. And I've had a lot of fun with the PlayStation VR, but I can't play it in long stints, and I've spoken about that before, particularly talking about things being more realistic compared to cartoonistic and how I manage with those. The latest thing that I've been playing on the VR, which I haven't played a lot of, and I want to get into more over the school holiday break, while I don't have kids to be teaching and I can just kind of relax about it and get really absorbed into it, is Beat Saber. I picked that up on the PlayStation VR, and that uses the Move controllers as well. So you can see the development from what they had with the PlayStation 3s and the PlayStation Move system back then with the PlayStation 3i camera thing, compared to like how it works with the VR and the current PlayStation camera. I've got the version 2 of the camera, so you can see what they had in mind here kind of is now being implemented in that VR system, and that's the progress. And you can actually see that, having played these games, you can see what they were trying to achieve. They were just slightly behind with the technology that they needed to kind of create and implement these interactive games like that in a realistic way. I would love to see a Harry Potter game like the Book of Spells thing or Book of Potions kind of shifted onto the VR. I think that would be amazing, because you don't actually need the book then. It's using a virtual book. Like, you'll be able to use the controllers and pick up a virtual book and flick through it, and then you can use your hand, you have a wand. Like, that would be amazing to see this kind of thing reinvented and moved to the PlayStation VR. Unfortunately, it is kind of just locked in with its own sort of console limitations, and I don't feel like it would be moved. I don't think they would be recreating anything for it, because it really wasn't that successful. So there's that as well. Focus on me, camera. Anyway, that's my little rant about Book of Spells. I did like it. I ended up with 2 of the Wonder Books because I could only get one of the games with a pack, so I've got 2. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Please stay safe, look after yourself during these times. I know it's a bit scary for people, but you know, do what you can to stay in contact, but keep your distance where necessary. Make sure you're staying hygienic, washing your hands regularly, particularly if you've gone outside of the house, and do what you can for your neighbours. Take care of people, look out for people, just stay positive, spread some joy with people. That's what we need right now, so take that as you will. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you next time.